Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Sloan Haynes.
And I'm student meteorologist Harrison Prieto, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of FSU Weather.
It's been a pretty nice day outside despite the heat. The clear skies has been really nice these past few days, but that still means we're in a drought here in the Panhandle.
Yeah, we only had a few puffy clouds today, and we've actually only had a trace of rain on the month of September, which is really unusual. We've usually had, what, 3.5 inches or so up to this point?
So we're very below average with our rainfall, causing us to reach a record, I believe.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like we're really going to get any rain. We have a slight chance of rain the next 2 days or so, but after that, it's looking dry here across the Tri-States region.
Very, very minimal chance of rainfall and storms tomorrow and Thursday evening in the Big Bend region, and then we're going to open up for a very hot weekend again.
Yeah, it's not really going to cool off here. We're not looking at a cold front, for, at least over the next week. Maybe in the long range we're looking at the chance for a cold front sneaking in here.
But then the Saturday game day is going to be hot, so make sure you stay hydrated, but good thing the sun's setting around that time. And for now, we're going to pass things off to Jesse at the wall.
This awesome view of Doak Campbell Stadium. You can see the sun setting just behind the stadium. We've got just a few clouds in the area, but really nothing that's providing us relief from the heat and from the sunshine. Looking at the satellite and radar, there's a lot going on right now. Something to take note of is some of these severe storms in the Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri area. And down near the southeast, we have this cold front that's sitting just above us. It looks promising, but unfortunately, we are not going to be seeing any cooler temperatures, any rain, any relief that's going to be coming with that cold front. This high right here is going to keep all of that away from us. We're going to stay hot. We're going to stay extremely warm over these next few days. Tonight, it's going to be a lot cooler than it was today at about 72 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful night. Might be just a little bit cloudy in the area. It is a lot warmer than it was the last few nights as we were in the 60s, but now we've reached back into the low 70s as temperatures are getting even warmer despite it being the second day of fall already. 3-day forecast, we've got a little bit of chance of storms Wednesday and Thursday, but something to take note of is that extremely hot temperatures at 97 degrees. It's just going to be extremely uncomfortable. For the show tonight, we have our storm chances tomorrow. We're going to be looking at our Parents' Weekend forecast, and we're also going to be tracking all the action that's going on in the tropics. For now, I'm going to pass things over to Sloan. She's going to give us a look at the southeast.
Thanks so much, Jesse. If you take a look at the southeast right now, temperatures are fairly hot. We're sticking in the 90s in Jacksonville, 96 in Tallahassee, 88 in Orlando, Little Rock up there at 78. We see the theme is that the sun is out right now, causing it to be a beautiful day across much of the southeast. Dew point wise, still a little above average with our dew points this time of year. 66 in Little Rock, 70 in Shreveport, and 67 in Jackson, Mississippi. And as we take a look towards the eastern portion of the region, 60 in Atlanta, a little bit lower, 62 in Orlando, and the 66 down there in Miami. Remember, when we have these dew points and hotter temperatures, we get our feels-like temperature, causing it to feel a little hotter outside. For Florida, feeling like 99 here in Tallahassee, 91 in Jacksonville, 86 in Miami, sticking true to its temperature. And Shreveport down at 98, Little Rock 80. They have some cloud cover and rain in the area, causing them to cool off a bit. Taking a look at this satellite and radar, we do have a stationary front dipping into portions of the southeast with some severe weather in the forecast for portions of the Midwest. And we have a high pressure system sitting towards the southern portion of the region, which is sort of causing the region to be a little bit drier right now. Taking a look a little closer, we see this front sitting here north of the Tallahassee area, but not a lot of rain associated with it. With this lack of rainfall we've been seeing in the Big Bend, we've also been seeing it in most of the southeast, causing there to be drought conditions throughout the region. Remember that when we do get rainfall, it could put us at risk for minor flooding in low-level areas and other concerns with that. For the next 48 hours, some clouds begin to pop up by tomorrow morning towards the western portion of the region, but not a lot happening there, and some coastal showers along the southern portion of the peninsula of Florida. And then overall, not a lot happening, some quiet weather, some shower activity a little north of Little Rock, some storm chances in the forecast. But for the most part, conditions that we've been seeing a lot, maybe a few showers popping up, but other than that, nice conditions throughout the region. Temperature-wise, though, 70s and 60s is the theme. Clear skies, some clouds here and there, with Little Rock being the only location with a chance of thunderstorms this evening. And then tomorrow, still hot, still in the 90s. Some showers and storms in the forecast for the northwestern portion of the southeast. But overall, the sun is out. It's going to be beautiful. Now I'm going to pass things off to Harris and take a look at Tallahassee.
Yeah, thank you, Sloan. And as we look across the Panama City campus here, we're looking down at that sun starting to set here. No clouds really to be seen, so you know it's still hot outside there in Panama City. As we look at the satellite and radar, we do have a few upper level clouds trying to filter into our region. Doesn't look like they're really going to make it. That is associated with the cold front that is stationary and stalled out just to our north that Sloan mentioned earlier. Again, you think whenever you see a cold front, you're not going to, or that you get a little bit of rain, but across the Tallahassee region, we don't have much. There is some draped across the western portions of the southeast, but again, not a whole lot going on here in Tallahassee. As we look at those temperatures right now across the tri-state area, middle 90s for the most part, 96 here in Tallahassee. We are the warm spot. Only 87 down in Apalachicola. A little bit of a sea breeze did manage to push its way up. You can kind of see that stretched out just on the just north of the coast, but it is pinned down there, and there really isn't any rain associated with it. So we look at those dew points as well. It is starting to dry out a little bit compared to where we were all summer here, but still in the middle 60s, so it does feel quite muggy outside here in Tallahassee. Look at this, Perry at 70. That is a midsummer reading for a dew point. You don't typically expect that here as we get into late September, but here it is, and it's still hot outside. With that, the heat index is going to show you that 99 degrees in Tallahassee, so it feels oppressively hot outside. Still 97 in Bainbridge for your heat index, and 94 in Perry. As we go forward through the next 24 hours, we are going to see those clouds start to drip down overnight. However, over the next day or so, they really start to dissipate. We do get a little bit of a sea breeze popping off a thunderstorm or two down south of us. We'll see if we can maybe squeak one in, but it doesn't really look like we're going to get much of a chance for rain tomorrow. Overnight tonight, we are expecting a low of around 72 degrees. We are expecting a beautiful night, so it should be a nice night to get out. If you want to go hang out with some friends overnight, that will be a fun thing to do, and it won't feel too bad. That sun is starting to set a little bit earlier here at 7:31 p.m. If you remember during the summer, I mean, some of those sunsets weren't happening until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. So it is starting to show signs that we are getting into the fall, and those temperatures should start to cool down as we continue through the next couple of months. Tomorrow, 97 degrees, so the temperature cool down won't be happening tomorrow. We do have that slight chance of rain sticking around. We will have winds out of the west-northwest at 5 miles an hour around the surface low that's going to be located to our north, so not much in the way of moisture coming in from that. And once again, our marine forecast, 91 degrees down near the coast. We will have those west winds at 10 knots. As we look at our 7-day forecast here across Tallahassee, 97, 97, 96. A little bit cooler on Saturday at 94, and with that game day happening at 7:30 at night, we will see some of those cooler conditions for game time, but not much relief otherwise. For now, I'm going to go ahead and pass things back off to Sloan here, where she's going to give you a look at the lifestyle.
Thank you so much, Harrison. Our lifestyle theme is Family Weekend, which is this weekend here for Florida State University. We've already talked about the weather for this weekend. It's going to be hot still. It's going to be sun out, so make sure you have that sunscreen on during the day. But overall, it's going to be a gorgeous weekend for the game and to all the other festivities that Florida State has planned. For Friday, if your family's coming into town earlier, there's the FSU Flying High Circus right next to the stadium. 90 degrees around 6 o'clock that evening with the sun out. It's a show great for all ages. It's a great show. I've been a ton of times before. It's a great thing to take your parents to if they're visiting, and it's a Tallahassee native event because we're one of 2 college campuses in the nation that have a circus. Taking a look for Saturday morning, 73 degrees around 8 a.m. when there's the 5K fun, run, and walk. It'll be at the Askew Student Life Centers where it's going to kick off. It's a 5K. Super fun event to take your families out to, especially if you live on campus. It's right there and local. For Saturday night, though, we do have the game against NC State. 7:30 is when kickoff is. That's going to be the time the sun sets too. So it's going to be a perfect sunset and weather for a no wind. About 89 degrees is expected around that time. And then here's my family that are coming into town this weekend. We always go out to brunch on Sunday mornings when they're visiting. 74 degrees around that time. Perfect morning to go eat outside. College Town has a ton of eateries for you to go outside and eat at. And it's going to be a beautiful morning and a beautiful weekend. For those 3 days, those high temperatures, very hot. Friday 97, Saturday 95, and then Sunday back up to 97. Sun is out. Make sure that you wear your sunscreen, stay hydrated, go indoors when you need to. And for now, I'm going to pass things off to Harrison to take a look at the national forecast.
Yeah, thanks, Sloan. And we are going to take a look at the national forecast. We're going to start off here looking at your temperatures across the nation. We're a hot spot actually at 96 degrees. Everywhere else in the nation looks a little bit cooler than us, even San Antonio at 94 degrees. Out west, we do have some cooler conditions at elevation and maybe a little bit of cooler spot in the eastern Great Plains, and that would be associated with some of the rain that is ongoing there. As we look at the dew point, the southeast, still a little muggy, and if you look just going up to the north there through the Great Plains, still a lot of moisture there with Kansas City having a dew point at 67. Drier again out west where you are at elevation and you don't have quite as much supply of moisture. As we go into those feels-like temperatures, we combine that dew point with those current temperatures, and it is really still hot here across much of the southeast. A little bit warmer as you go up into Dallas-Fort Worth, 99 degrees. Even San Francisco at 84. I mean, that's pretty unusual for them as they typically stay a little bit cooler there as they're on the water out there on the Pacific coast. As we look at the satellite and radar for the nation here, we do have that stalled frontal boundary for us. That is in association with this low pressure system over the northeast, and then we have another upper level system diving into the upper Midwest now, and that is going to help to produce a little bit of rain for them as we go through the next few days. And with that, we do have the chance for severe storms south of Minneapolis, Iowa, places we have an enhanced risk for severe weather that is a level threat 3 out of 5 for them, so it is something that you need to watch out for if you were in those regions. And then we have a slight risk outlined around that is a level 2 out of 5 for those regions. As we look across the northeast, we do have this counterclockwise flow around this low pressure system that is helping to drive that front just to the north of us, but not quite make it in here. That is bringing some rain across the northern northeast. Places such as Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont are seeing rain from that. As we go across Texas, this frontal boundary that is associated with that low pressure system all the way up in New England is helping to drive off some showers and thunderstorms across Oklahoma and Arkansas right now, and we even have some showers and thunderstorms across the southern and western portions of Texas. As we look at those severe warnings here, we do have flash flood watches here, and we have some severe warnings up near Wichita, severe thunderstorm warnings as well, I do believe, up there. So obviously watch out for those severe thunderstorms if they are to impact your area. This was the upper level low that I mentioned earlier, starting to drive into the Midwest and northern Great Plains here, helping to spark off a few showers and thunderstorms for those regions. Not really anything we're going to need to worry about. It doesn't look like any of that system is really going to make its way down into our area, but we do have some high wind watches and lake wind advisories, so we are seeing some windier conditions with that low pressure system. As we go into tonight's forecast across the nation, we're going to stay warm here across the southeast and in Texas, and mostly across the southern portions of the United States. We are going to see those 70s stick around overnight tonight. A little bit cooler as you get into the nighttime hours over the north and over the west as well. Those showers and thunderstorms over Bismarck will continue at only 47 degrees, so it's not time to quite worry about snow yet up there, but it will be cooler for those regions as we start to get more radiative cooling as the nighttime gets longer and the daytime gets shorter, so those temperatures are starting to fall there. As we look at tomorrow's forecast, we're going to be hot across the southeast once again, cooler up north, but that's going to be the story for the next week or so. For now, I'm going to pass things off to Jessie, where she's going to give you a look at the local once again.
Thanks, Harrison. Yeah, so once again, we're just looking at how much little rain that we've had over this past month. As I mentioned earlier, northern Florida is currently in a drought. We have observed no measurable rainfall during this month. So we've been about 23, 24 days with no rain. We have extremely dry conditions and we're not expecting rain anytime soon. Temperatures outside are extremely warm. Tallahassee at 96. Even further north in Thomasville, Bainbridge, they're still seeing temperatures in the 90s. It's a little cooler down in Apalachicola at 87 degrees. Hopefully things are going to cool off by tonight. Our dew points are fairly high at 66 in Tallahassee, really mid 60s all around the region. This is just a measure of the moisture that's in the air, and it helps to add to those heat indices. 99 in Tallahassee right now. Guys, it's the end of September and we're still feeling this summer heat. I'm really looking forward to some cool-offs. Even in southern Georgia, they're still seeing those temperatures in the mid to high, feeling like in the mid to high 90s. It's extremely uncomfortable and we're not seeing any relief with cloud cover or showers as seen on the radar. Just north of Florida in southern Georgia, there are some clouds, but they're not going to reach North Florida. So we are still going to be stuck with this hot weather with no relief. We're not going to be seeing cold temperatures anytime soon. It is not fall yet. Just like I mentioned earlier, we've got a little bit of that severe weather here in the Midwest, and then you see this stationary front sitting tantalizingly close to Tallahassee. It's not going to bring us any cooler weather thanks to this high pressure sitting right here. This cold front is just going to go away and leave us. We're not going to see any cooler temperatures. As for our airport delays, we've got nothing. We've got clear conditions here in Tallahassee, 96 degrees at the airport. It's just going to be an easy day if you are having any flights. Tonight, it is going to be a lot cooler than it was today, as it feels like 99 currently. Tonight we're looking at 72 degrees in Tallahassee. It's going to be a beautiful night compared to the temperatures that we felt earlier today. Even though it's a little bit warmer than it was last night, it's still going to be a beautiful night to go outside, enjoy the weather, maybe eat outside, take your dog for a walk. Really, the entire area is going to be beautiful. Just north in Thomasville, they're seeing a little bit cooler weather. It's 69 degrees. It's going to be beautiful. So tomorrow, we're looking at 74 in the morning for that 8 a.m. class. As we progress through the day, we're going to hit the 90s. For our game this weekend, we're seeing 89 degrees. It's going to be absolutely beautiful for Parents Weekend. Looking at the next 7 days, it's going to be hot in the high 90s, cooling off a little bit towards next week with low rain chances towards the end of this week. I'm going to pass things back off to Harrison for a look at the tropics.
Yeah, and at FSU Weather, we're always tracking the tropics. We are in a prone area, so it's worthwhile to keep an eye on the tropics. We are through several names on the storm, all the way down to the eye storms. But we still have Jerry, Karen, and Lorenzo all active right now as the Atlantic has heated up a little bit over the last few weeks. We're going to start out by taking a look at Tropical Storm Lorenzo. Quite a healthy tropical storm, actually. You can see that outflow expanding on all signs. That is an indication that it is strengthening. It's going to make its way off towards the northwest and bend out to sea, so we don't really have to worry about it. Just something for the fishes. But as we look a little bit further down the line and we go in to your 4 and 5 day forecast, the National Hurricane Center in Miami is predicting a Category 3 hurricane, so a very powerful hurricane out of the storm as it is in a favorable environment. As we look now at Tropical Storm Karen, it's a little bit different here because Karen, currently situated over Puerto Rico, it is having an impact to land. However, it's not quite as strong as Lorenzo is expected to be. The National Hurricane Center is now calling it a tropical storm all the way through the next 5 days or so, and the environment isn't looking all that favorable. There's going to be a lot of shear and dry air for Karen to contend with. And then as we get out towards days 4 and 5 of this forecast period, there's a little bit of uncertainty up here as to where Karen's going to go next. It could go ahead and just slip off to the northeast out to sea, but it also has the potential to go ahead and loop back around. So that is something that we're going to have to keep an eye on and see what happens with it over the next few days. And we look at the spaghetti plots, they really illustrate this. You can kind of see the models drifted off towards the northeast, and then they start to loop it back. And the major global models like the GFS and the European also show that as well. As we look at the upper level water vapor, you can see the shear and dry air. The flow is going to come like this out of the north, helping to shear Karen a little bit and inject some dry air into it. As we look at Jerry here, there's not much to look at. Actually, Bermuda is going to contend with some stronger winds here. Not a whole lot going on there with your upper level water vapor either. And then lastly, there is a 10 to 20% chance of development in the Gulf of Mexico over the next 2 and 5 days respectively here. For this little system, it is expected to drift west if it does develop, so we will have to keep an eye on that as well for potential impacts to land. Now I'm going to go ahead and pass things off to Jessie here, and she's going to give a look at the weather across the state of Florida.
Yeah, so Tallahassee isn't the only area in Florida that's expecting these extremely high temperatures. All of Florida is experiencing temperatures in the high 80s to 90s, with Tallahassee really being the warmest place on the map at 96 degrees. Really uncomfortable temperatures all across the Sunshine State, truly living up to its name. Dew points all around Florida. Once again, that's the moisture in the air, are all around the low 70s. Low 70s and high 60s. Down south in Key West, we've got 68, Miami 66, and up here in Pensacola, we've got that 71 dew point. Now, the heat indices all across Florida are warmer than the temperatures. In Pensacola, we've got 98, Tallahassee at 99. On the East Coast, it feels a little bit cooler with West Palm Beach and Miami in the high 80s, but it's still really hot for this time in September. Once again, looking at that satellite, we can see this system sitting just above Tallahassee, not offering any relief to our area. And really, all across Florida today, we saw very little rain, very little cloud cover, really not much happening. All of North Florida is currently in a dry time because we haven't had any rain in September. So we're looking at that drought monitor and we're seeing these areas in the yellow and orange. We desperately need that rain. We've been 23, 24 days with no relief from the heat. South Florida is seeing a little bit of cloud cover as we go into the next 24 hours. But up north, we're really seeing no cloud cover except maybe some spotted showers in the Jacksonville, Gainesville area. Tallahassee's not going to get any relief. Once again, that is the story. Tallahassee is hot. It's going to stay hot. For tonight, we're going to have temperatures in the high 60s for parts of Florida, Jacksonville, Gainesville, and Orlando, and even Fort Myers, seeing temperatures in the high 60s. But places like Pensacola and Tallahassee are feeling warmer temperatures than we did last night. They're going to stick around the mid 70s. We're going to have some cloud cover in places like Tampa, Fort Myers, West Palm Beach, but in Orlando, you're going to have a clear night. Go stargazing. Take advantage of that. Tomorrow is another hot day. Tallahassee, it's going to be 97 degrees once again, just like today. Extremely uncomfortable temperatures. Nothing like what it's supposed to be on the second day of fall. South Florida, they're seeing temperatures in the high 90s, in the low 90s as well, and heat indices are going to push that even hotter. It's just still hot in the Sunshine State. I'm going to pass things over to Sloan for one last look at the local.
Thank you so much, Jessie. It is pretty nice outside. The sun is out, currently setting right now. It's been a beautiful day, a few clouds here and there, but for the most part, it's been a pleasant day here in the Big Bend. Temperature-wise, though, maybe a little oppressive with the heat. 96 in Tallahassee, 94 in Bainbridge, and 93 in Quincy. The coastline a little bit cooler with Apalachicola at 87, and then Perry behind me right here at 88 degrees. Dew point still a little above average for this time of year, but it's not that point where we're really feeling the heat right now. 63 in Thomasville, 62 in Valdosta, a little higher in Perry at 70, and then 65 in Bainbridge. That heat index comes from those dew points are a little higher, and that temperature is hotter, causing it to feel a little warmer outside. We're about 3 degrees cooler than our high temperature of 96 degrees today, which tied a record from 1933 rather, of 96 degrees as our high. But it's feeling like 99 in Tallahassee, 93 in Perry, and 94 in Thomasville. Nothing's really happening on the satellite and radar behind me. We have that clear sky, a few clouds here and there, but overall it's a picturesque sunset about to occur over Doak. Taking a look at the nation as a whole, see what's really impacting us. If we move over to the side of the screen, we're going to see this front that's sort of moving its way south towards the Panhandle region. But for the next 24 hours, nothing's really happening. There's nothing going on by tonight at a little past midnight. And then into tomorrow morning, maybe a few clouds here and there, but for the most part, a pop-up shower here or there. When we have that really, really slight chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening tomorrow. But clouds is our biggest threat for Tallahassee. Tonight's temperatures, 70s and 60s is the theme. 72 for Tallahassee, 70 in Quincy, and then 74 in Apalachicola. Bainbridge again at 70 and 72 for Perry. Tomorrow, hot is the theme, and we're going to stay this way for a while. Harrison and I started off the show talking about this heat that we are feeling here in the Big Bend, and it's going to last for a while until another front hopefully moves through and brings us some rain, as we're still fairly dry this time of year. 90 in St. Mark's for your high tomorrow, 96 in Thomasville, 96 in Quincy, and then 97 in Tallahassee. If you're planning on going to the game, we finally have a night game here in Tallahassee. 89 degrees around 7:30 for kickoff. That's around the time the sun sets here in the Big Bend, so it's going to be a perfect sunset and weather for another Knoll win. And it's also going to be Parents' Weekend, so be sure to take them to the game and take them around Tallahassee for this beautiful weekend ahead of us. Again, Wednesday and Thursday, those slight chances of storms in the afternoon and evening, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, hot is the theme. And then by the beginning of the work week next week, 95 degrees on Monday, 93 on Tuesday. But Friday's looking pretty nice for my parents to come into town this time of year, and my dad will actually be in the audience this Friday, Harrison, so we'll have a live audience member.
Oh, that's really exciting. We actually usually have a few people in here in the studio. Yeah, but definitely whenever family can come in town, they don't have to watch on TV. It's definitely a little special.
A little special for them, but that heat is going to stay, and they're coming from Jersey, so it's a bit of a different temperature.
It's a little adjustment, huh?
A little season difference.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm excited about, and you mentioned this, touched a little bit on it, the night game in Doak Campbell Stadium. I'm super excited to have a night game, 7:30 p.m. Won't be quite as hot. Hopefully we'll get a win.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time that we've had a night game. I feel like it's been so long.
I want to say maybe Virginia Tech last year. I could be wrong.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. But the sun's going to set around that time, going to start to cool off. So by the end of the game, it's not going to be in the upper 80s anymore, hopefully. But 89 seems to be that temperature for kickoff.
Yeah, for kickoff. So certainly still a little hot, but just a break, you know. As we look at the week ahead, we do see those hot temperatures stick around. We've been mentioning it also. And how do you feel about that?
You know, I like my seasons, and that's why I chose Florida State, because, you know, sometimes we do see the seasons, but that doesn't really happen for us until about November.
Well, it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Hopefully.
We'll get a couple weeks of fall, and the winter will set in.
It'll just come right away, and then we'll go from winter right to summer. That's a theme here in Tallahassee.
It does come quick, yeah. But, you know, hopefully we do see those temperatures start to cool off soon, because I'm tired of walking in my car, and it's still unbelievably hot.
I know, and I'm tired of not having rain here in the Big Bend. I'm hoping for some rain in our future, but even that could raise some concerns for us.
Yeah, certainly, especially when you have those drought conditions around. A lot of rain on top of really dry soil, a lot of times the soil isn't ready to soak it up, so you'll end up being at a little higher risk, actually, of having some flash flood problems whenever you do see some of those drier conditions.
But be sure to follow us on Twitter at FSU Weather for all of our updates.
Yeah, and go ahead and like us on Facebook so you can catch us on there as well.
And if you're watching us live on YouTube right now, thank you. You can watch all of our previous shows at youtube.com/FSU Weather.
And then also follow us on Instagram, where we post some cool pictures as well at FSU Weather.
We'd love to see your pictures, especially a sunset from inside Doak. But for everybody here, I'm student meteorologist Sloan Haynes.
And I'm student meteorologist Harrison Prieto. Thank you guys for watching.